And then come over here. Start recording in 2, 1.
It's the Dave Cat Podcast. The Dave Cat Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Dave Cat Podcast on a Saturday night. I am joined in tonight, finally. We found Monty. He is here. Don't worry. Don't be tweeting at me no more. I don't want to get no more DMs, angry DMs, because Monty's not here. Once again, where's Monty? Just want to listen to Monty. Monty's not here.
You guys can start eating. You guys are on that
But
hump.
now Monty's here with his takes on the Cowboys picks, on their free agency. There's a lot of free agency. This whole episode is going to be a lot about free agency. You already know the tags. Follow us on Facebook, Dave Cat Pod, Twitter, Dave Cat Pod. Montarius Clement. He's at Monty 629. Is it 629? Monty Clement 629.
No.
Okay.
Monty Clemens. Fine.
Monty Clements 29. There's too many numbers for all these. Seth, yours is 621.
Seth Reed 620.
620. See? I just need to hire someone for this. This is too much for me. I gotta have all your names like tagged up on the side. You know, where all your platforms are. Just too much
really
going
not
on.
that hard.
Alright, whatever, fine. Well, alright, so seriously though, free agency, we thought this would be like one to remember, and at the very beginning of it, it was really, really slow. It was something that I don't know if anyone was really expecting, because to me it didn't go as like the bigger names really didn't sign till later on in the afternoon. There was some big ones going on, but overall it was kind of underwhelming at first. And to me, like I said, to me it was a little underwhelming to me. I don't know what you guys thought, but how are you guys feeling about free agency so far? Was it everything that you expected of it?
Go ahead, Monty. It's been a while since we've heard you speak, brother.
Yeah, free agency was, it was pretty laid back as to be expected, because of the cap situation, but there's some big signings, obviously the Cowboys signed Dak, so he got like the second most money ever. So
Hey,
that was
real quick,
interesting.
while you brought it up,
Yeah.
man, wasn't on last week. Bro, I was saying, hey, man, Dak, you won. Like, look, and you know the thing about it is that deal he signed is when it's done, he's going to be 31, and that's when the new TV money kicks in. If this man performs and makes them contenders in the NFC, he's going to get paid again, like insanely paid again. I mean, the ball's in his court, man. He bet on himself. He
If
won.
he plays well, yeah, for the next 4 years,
Yeah.
it's going to be
I mean,
crazy.
They got to shore up that defense, and that offensive line's got to figure some things out. But man, they're ready to roll now, man. Like they're good to go. Like damn, yeah. That's cool for you, Monty. I'm happy.
Yeah, my only thing is the fact that like he did get hurt though, so it's like before, he had never had an injury really.
That was
Nothing,
injury, man.
nothing to make him miss a game. No, I get it, but it's
And it was
still
an
like,
No, it wasn't a knee or a leg, so that's the good thing. Like it, you know what I mean? It wasn't like,
yeah,
I mean, the ankle's important, but it wasn't a femur. It wasn't something like Alex Smith went through, something like that. It wasn't like catastrophic, you know what I mean?
Right. So,
yeah.
the free agency period started just earlier this week, but really it started January 31st when there was a trade announced between the Lions and the Rams for quarterbacks and picks. And then we already talked about that in a previous episode where we think the Rams are going to be dangerous going forward. Lions more of a rebuilding stage at this time, signing Jamal Williams. We'll get to that in just one moment. But the Washington football team, they re-signed Taylor Heinicke. Everyone knew that was going to be solidifying their backup quarterback role. And then there was a bunch of releases starting to happen. AJ Bouye getting, they said,
Skipped over Washington signing Curtis Samuel. I think that's a huge sign for them. I think that's going to be big for them. They got Fitzpatrick, and I mean, like you've been saying, I mean, he's going to light it up at first, but I really like what Washington's trying to do up there. I think that's that's a team. Them and the Cowboys are going to battle it out, and I think in that division. I really like the moves they're making. Curtis Samuel's a very legit receiver, and I don't know if a lot of people know this. Him and Scary Terry were teammates at Ohio State, so I mean they're back together. They got a good rapport. They know how to play on the field together. I think Washington is doing some real nice things up there, man. I really do.
Yeah, no, they're doing great things. That's what I think. Monty, they're in your division. What do you think of them so far?
No. They signed Ryan Fitzpatrick. Stop it. What are they doing that's so great? That's gonna they Ryan Fitzpatrick and
The quarterback, that's not the answer. They're
get
not
out
gonna,
of
well, they could easily win the division with him, and that
They
defense,
have-
the other moves they're making.
based off talent. He's the worst quarterback in the division. Like he's not even close.
You think Daniel Jones is that much better than him? Really?
Talent wise, yeah, I don't think he's obviously not as seasoned and hasn't been through as much as Ryan Fitzpatrick. But talent wise, yeah, he was the number 6 pick in the draft for a reason. Like, no, Ryan Fitzpatrick has been on 10 teams, 9 teams, 10 teams.
Right.
So
Right.
there's a reason for that. Every time he gets paid to be the man, he look. I mean, Dave knows. Doesn't he?
Well, look,
a jet or a bill or something?
They're not going to win a Super Bowl with him, but I think that makes them a very legit contender in that division. With in the offensive line, the other moves they're making. I just think they're making good moves. Like I said, no, but I think they can definitely compete with Dallas next year for that division, man.
Ryan Fitzpatrick's a
Yeah.
gunslinger. You never know how he can
Because their
play.
defense.
But if there's too much
No.
expectation, he won't play well.
That's what I'm trying to say. He got a $10 million deal to come in as the starter. He's not the backup. You know what I mean? Like he's not battling a young guy that's going to take his job. Like he's secure. So with that being said, anytime he's been secure, what happened?
Well, they did sign
We all
William
know.
Jackson on the defense,
Who?
Washington football team.
No, I'm not. Their defense is going to be awesome. That's I feel like the Cowboys should go offense.
So where are they going to
honestly,
finish in the
for-
division based on how
There
they're
you
so far? I mean, it's too early to tell, but I mean, they're really
It's
putting.
way
I mean,
too-
they got Curtis Samuel now with Scary Terry and Antonio Gibson and Ryan Fitzpatrick with a decent offensive line, and they have that ferocious defense going forward. How can you not
Yep.
see them competing with Dallas for that division?
Hey, that whole division's making moves. I mean, look how much money the Giants paid. What's his name today? Kenny Galladay today. Look how much money they paid that man. Like, they're all
Right.
trying that division. That division was an embarrassment last year, and they all know it. And they're trying to everybody's trying to get better. I think they way overpaid for Kenny Galladay, but I mean, hey, kudos to him. I'd take that contract too.
You think so?
Do another shitty. Oh, I think so, dude.
Kenny Galladay is an X factor when healthy, man.
No, I agree.
I mean,
Look, I think he's an amazing talent.
what
Monty.
did he get 4 years, $72 million. What was it? Something like that.
I don't get why he would go to that shitty team. Like,
I
why
feel
go
like
from
he got
a
underpaid.
franchise to another shitty franchise? Like, you're that good. Go play with the team you have a chance to win for. But
Well, you know they offered him the most.
that's what I'm saying. Man.
So, what do you guys
That's
think
good.
about the Texans running back situation? Signing Mark Ingram and Philip Lindsay with David Johnson
good.
still on the roster. Now for fantasy purposes, I wouldn't even touch any of them, to be honest.
David Johnson's going to get cut, in my opinion.
That's what I think too. I do. I think the same thing.
For NFL purposes,
Yeah.
they're
But
busy this
It said
I'm
David
not-
Johnson. He restructured his
I'm not-
contract.
He
recently.
took a pay cut?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then,
So-
they'll have a 3-headed monster.
Hey, those guys might be real busy this year if Deshaun Watson misses any time.
Look, bro, I think they could still be decent. We already know how I feel about the Texans. I feel like everybody's way overblowing, like,
if Deshaun
how
Watson,
bad
they'll be okay.
how bad. No, I'm saying if he's not there, I think they can win just as many. I think they can win just as many games as they did last year
Well,
with Tyrod Taylor and bringing in some more
well,
weapons.
yeah, I forgot they got Tyrod. Yeah, I guess Tyrod, but I mean,
I guarantee they can win 4 games. I'm just saying. I feel like people underrate, or they just say the Texans are so trash, but they make the playoffs pretty much every year. But I don't know. Deshaun Watson got some other stuff going on though. I don't know what that's about. That's crazy.
The New England Patriots are going crazy in free agency, signing everybody up. Isn't it 2 years too late for that? I mean, they could have done this with Tom Brady, but they're doing it now.
They didn't want to. Bill Belichick didn't. That was the point. That's why. Don't you know he did that on purpose?
that's like the most. Listen, he spent
He
more
gave
money.
that man
he
gave
spent
that
more
man
money
no
a
weapons
day
on purpose.
than he spent like the last 3 years on free agency.
He gave that man no weapons on purpose, man. Y'all know why he did that. Because Bill Belichick has a motto to get you up out the door a year too early than a year too late, and so that's what he did. I mean, that's just his philosophy. I mean, he probably shouldn't have did it to Tom Brady, but at the same time, there was times last year, or I'm sorry, 2 years ago, with the Patriots that he did kind of look like trash. I mean, I know it was part of to do with the weapons too, and that's why he left. But you know, I definitely feel like he kind of did Tom Brady dirty. I definitely feel like he didn't bring people in on purpose. I do. I feel like he did that on purpose. Cause that's
Hey, real-
Johnny Smith and Hunter Henry.
They're going
Yeah.
back. Hey, listen, we've seen them do this before with Aaron Hernandez and
And
Rob
Gronkowski in the
Gronkowski.
same draft.
Do you remember
These-
how good they were?
these
with
guys
both?
aren't nearly as good.
I'm not
in my
saying.
opinion.
Listen. I'm not saying Hunter
They
Henry
count.
and Smith are those two guys. What I'm saying is we've seen Bill Belichick before have a lot of success with two high end tight ends at his disposal. It's all about if Cam Newton's going to be the quarterback and if he can. But we're going to see, man. I think the Patriots are going to get a quarterback in the draft. I really think that
I
Belichick
think
likes
Mac
that.
Jones is probably going to end
Yep.
up in New England.
Yep. I think Belichick loves Mac Jones because he's a pocket passer. I think that's who he wants. I
Yep.
think
I don't
Cam
know how he.
insurance
I don't know how
policy,
he-
and I think he's focused on getting Mac Jones, getting those two tight ends, getting that running game going, getting all his guys on the defense that copped it out last year because of COVID. And I think that that's what he's ready to do, and they're going to make one more run at it if he can get his quarterback. Because I don't think Cam Newton is his quarterback, but I think that's just a little insurance, and then we'll see what they can do in the draft.
Yeah, no, I highly agree. And like I said, they have two tight ends now with Cam Newton. They sign who's the wide receivers that they ended up picking up? Kendrick Bourne
Nelson Aguilar.
and Nelson
Aguilar.
Aguilar. So, I mean,
Which
they're
those are
adding
not,
pieces
like-
now.
Big names, but Aguilar's better than what they had.
Signing
Hey,
Jalen
Nelson Aguilar
Mills.
had
And
a good year
Patrick-
last year.
All right, man. Good career, buddy. He was a good
Okay.
save.
So,
First
bouncing
of all,
around. Go ahead.
Patrick Chung. No, I was just gonna say something funny about Patrick Chung. He got caught up with that white, and his ass hasn't been the same ever since.
Right.
I don't know if y'all remember that. He was facing like straight felony trial. He was about to go to prison, bro. Like I think they ended up dropping it, but he was never the same after that, man. I don't know. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was that was hilarious. Remember who was the Sam
the
Hurd?
plug.
Remember Sam
Yeah,
Hurd?
Sam Hurd was the
Selling
plug.
pounds over in Chicago.
Johnny
Selling
Soccer,
pounds.
yeah.
So
He used to play for Dallas before that. So
Yeah.
yeah, he was.
This is one thing I was kind of confused at. Like the Chiefs, they had a huge issue in the Super Bowl, missing two of their tackles, left tackle and right tackle. So not only do they not release them, and then after that they don't replace them. They sign interior linemen. They re-sign their center, Joe Tooney, 5-year, $80 million. Which I'm not mad. I'm mad that they signed Joe Tooney, but like they already had guards. They needed tackles, and they didn't
I
do
heard
anything
they
about the tackles.
I heard they went after Trent Williams too.
Oh yeah, they probably did make an offer after him,
I
but
went for him before Tooney's what I heard, but I don't know if it's true.
oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know.
I that's just what
That would make sense to go after the
That's
tackle first, but
went for first, and they couldn't match. Or I guess they didn't want to whatever the San Francisco was giving, or maybe Trent Williams just wanted to stay in San Francisco more. But I heard they wanted him first, and then Tooney was the second option, and that's just what I heard.
right.
A lot of people speculating. I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah, I think, man, you still should have just kind of explored other options and going with Joe Tooney for 5 years, $80 million. You really needed to do something about those tackles on the outside. You got exposed in the Super Bowl with it. But Joe Tooney now, with re-signing your center, should be beefing up that interior. There's no excuses if they can get somehow decent left and right tackle or do something about it in the draft. But by then, who knows what will be available. They may have to trade up, maybe trade an offensive piece to get a trade or move up so they can get a tackle in the draft, because if they've, you've seen the Chiefs succeed when they've had protection of Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah,
But-
they're unstoppable when you could
Right.
protect him.
So
I mean,
when
literally.
right, and that's why I'm kind of confused, like how they went all this money to Joe Tooney, but they couldn't go all out for Trent Williams. Like, I mean, that is a
Maybe-
lot of money, but you're talking about a
44.
position. Yeah, that was also something like
Maybe they're.
man.
I agree with you, but maybe Andy's rethinking is that they need to get their run game going again, which they had really was non-existent last year. Besides the first, 3-4 months of the season, maybe they ran the ball somewhat well. Maybe I don't know that because Andy Reid does like to run the ball. We've seen it before. Even in Philly, he had his running backs. He always likes to have a good running back. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. I don't know, but I agree with you. You should have gone the outside way because how your team's set up.
They
You
have
wanna
a plan. Obviously, they're not stupid. 3 straight
Right.
AFC championships, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and a chip. But
They'll be
man, 5 years, $80 million for a position you didn't need to upgrade that much, like that. Like it was not like a glaring need. Like you needed to replace those tackle positions because you just released them. I don't understand it, but hey, they must have a plan. Let's see how that plays out because we're gonna come back to this later on, and I want to know. We're gonna try to explain it about what happened because we're asking the questions now and we're not getting answers at the moment. But the draft is coming up, so maybe, just maybe, they might do something about it in the draft. If they don't, then that'll be really confusing. But going on, like the Browns added John Johnson for a nice 3-year, $33 million deal, $24 million guaranteed. Apparently, he took a smaller deal to go to the Browns for winning. Who knows who offered him more? That was a good signing by the Browns, but let's see how Baker Mayfield does. Because in my opinion, they keep winning the offseason, making these splashy moves. But do you honestly have faith that they're going to start going to the AFC Championship and maybe the Super Bowl?
I really think I could see the Browns in the AFC Championship, Dave. I'm going to be honest with you. I still think they're going to move Odell Beckham and get something good for, I don't know, maybe a player, a piece, or a second-round pick and a player. I think they're going to move him and get something they need, another, to fill
What's
a
he
hole.
worth?
I don't know,
Honestly,
man.
be honest. What's he worth with that contract?
No, definitely no more than a second to me.
Like the Jets second with the second pick in the second round?
No, fuck no. The second round pick, bro.
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The Jets have the second pick in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, he's a second round pick to me, yeah.
So you think the 34th pick?
And, dude, he'd love to go back to the Jets or go back to New York.
I think the 34th pick is a little high.
I don't. Monty, what do you think?
I think he left.
I'm sorry. What'd you say? Trade for?
Is the
who?
34th pick
Nope.
too high for Odell Beckham to trade?
Ooh.
So it's a second
That
pick
makes
in the
sense.
second round.
That makes it a second round pick for Odell Beckham.
I mean, his talent, but he keeps getting hurt now, so I don't know.
What's fair value for him? That you think not fair value that what he's worth, but what he would get in a trade. Like honestly, what he would get in a trade, because fair value, most of them don't get. You get pennies on the dollar or 50 cents on the dollar when you're trading someone like that.
Listen, that's what I'm saying, Dave. I'm not necessarily saying the Jets with the second pick in the second round. I'm saying he's worth a second round pick. I don't care where that pick. But I think that's his value as a second round pick.
What do you think, Monty? What would you trade? Like honestly, what would you honestly think that he would go for?
Right now, given his injury history and the way that he does carry some baggage with him a little bit, you're probably gonna have to pay him again. I'd do like a third and a fifth. Honestly, for me, just because like I said, everything I just said. So he's talented. If he was healthy and coming off 1,000-yard season and things like that, but it's like he broke his ankle the year before too. It's like he just he keeps getting hurt too. So I agree with Seth as far as his talent. I mean, he's a first-round pick, but there's obviously other things other than talent that go into it. He can't stay healthy anymore either. He's kind of injury prone,
and he's got to prove that he's a top. Well, he was a top 5 receiver to my eyes. He's got to prove he's like a top 10 receiver.
He was at one point, yeah.
Yeah, he was. I don't think he'll ever get back to that, but I still think he could be a top 15, sure, and possibly a top 10. I mean, he'd definitely be a top 15, man. And if he can show you that, he's going to get paid.
I think it's probably about over as far because you got to look at all the people that are coming through wide receiver wise, man.
Yeah.
Like
true, man. There's a lot.
All those rookies are going to take a step, like CD and Justin Jefferson and all those
Right.
guys. Then the year before them, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, these young boys are fucking taking over, man. You're right.
Because like, look at AB. No one
Right.
even thinks about AB.
Right.
Hey, about Julio.
Still not
I-
signed.
Julio's one of the best. Julio's
Still
right,
not
he's
signed.
gonna be 32 next year, dude. That's old for a receiver.
Yeah, AB was the best receiver in the league before he had his meltdown, though. I mean, according to statistics, anyway.
Yeah.
No, he
just
was.
kinda lost it.
Everyone was clamoring for some Antonio Brown back in the day, so that's
Yeah,
definitely
like
true.
6 or 7.
How good those guys were in
1,000 receivers.
Pittsburgh. As soon as they left Pittsburgh, all shit. Their careers ended, dude. Le'Veon Bell and fucking Antonio Brown.
Right.
Yeah, they ruined it.
And they're not
It's
going to be
all-
much better this year, in my opinion.
I think if their
Thanks,
defense
bro.
gets healthy,
Well, we'll see. Let's bounce out west for a moment, though. The Chargers signed Corey Linsley, center, 5-year deal, ex-Packer, 5 years, $62.5 million with $17 million fully guaranteed
Kudos.
at signing. I wish I was a little higher for him, but he
Great
got
signing.
$62.5 million. That's guaranteeing him one full season, and that's it. So after that, I mean, he can be cut after this year, basically. So good signing. I wish the Jets got him once again. That's a good signing.
Yeah, that was a great signing.
Herbert's really gonna. Yep, Herbert with the weapons. That's just a phenomenal pickup. They're smart. Chargers up and coming. Watch out for the Chargers. They could be
Bengals.
dangerous.
That's what they need to do now. The Bengals need to get off. line.
Don't be surprised if the Chiefs end up getting a little cap trouble in the next year or two, and possibly this year, maybe not. But if the Chargers might take the sweep,
stop it.
they might sweep them.
Stop it. You don't sweep nobody.
They're playing good football, and now at Corey Linsley protecting them, and the Chiefs
Dude,
not
as long as
protecting Mahomes aside from Tooney on the inside. I mean, hey,
As
Bosa's
long-
gonna have a day.
as long as
Sure.
Herbert doesn't sophomore slump, the Chargers are definitely a team on the rise, man.
You know there's still a draft, right?
There
Don't they
is. You're
draft,
right. I know, and yep, I understand. I totally understand. Yep. So, staying out west, the Raiders making questionable decisions, adding Yannick Ngakoue for a 2-year, $23 million deal. 22 of the $26 million is guaranteed. So I don't know why they just didn't make it fully guaranteed. I mean, you're only $4 million away at that point. But
That's
Need that $4 million, man. You know how football is.
right.
That's a whole nother player.
yeah, I don't know.
Especially in the COVID era.
Do you like that signing? I don't.
Not really.
I mean, for an edge rusher, he didn't really get nothing.
He didn't do.
I mean, he's pretty-
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
No, he didn't. He had a
COVID.
bad year, but I mean, he's talented. I mean,
Right. Okay. So the Broncos bringing back Ronald Darby, and now Kyle Fuller on a $9.5 million deal with Vic Fangio, which I knew the Jets weren't going to get freaking Kyle Fuller and Keanu Neal.
hey, pause. The Bears are stupid. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry.
Facts.
We will be getting there.
The hell were they doing?
But yeah, Ronald Darby and Kyle Fuller, that's pretty good. And now they're going to be playing in that division, that the West division in each conference is starting to look like that's just dangerous football area. So if you like that territory, if you're going out there to visit any of those 8 teams, it's going to be pretty rough for you because they're signing players left and right. They've already drafted good players left and right. And now you're just adding more and more in free agency. And yeah, you're losing, but you're gaining. Like Kyle Fuller, it's a great pickup for the Denver Broncos. Now let's see what they do at the quarterback position. Maybe they address that in the draft or trade. Let's see if Watson gets traded there on the cheap. Now he's having a situation with massaging people like Tom Brady's owner back in the day, Robert Kraft.
Is that what happened? I didn't read anything about it.
Massage therapy. bro, like
Basically, he said that he couldn't go to his massage therapist because of COVID. So he messaged a bunch of others and like had them massage his glutes. And then he, I don't know, said he had a text message saying that sorry for making you uncomfortable. So we'll see what plays out with that. There's like 12 now, I think. lawsuits against him.
He said, "Damn."
Yeah, and they're turning it over to police now, and they're gonna
That's why I
review the
said-
evidence.
He's gonna be in trouble, bro. Like if this shit's true, he might be out of the league.
Yeah, they're getting him on that Bill Cosby, bro. They just flocking now. Straight up. That's crazy, bro. It is. It's usually how like one person says something, and like everybody's like, yeah.
Right.
Right. So the Buccaneers aren't really signing any new pieces, but they're retaining their old ones, which is going to be good going forward for more chemistry. Tom Brady will have another year with the same system, with the same receivers. So we'll see how they can do a repeat. They definitely have the talent to, and I think Antonio Brown will be back in Tampa Bay.
I do too. I really didn't think they was gonna get Shaq Barrett back. And I didn't think they was gonna get Barrett and Godwin. I thought they was gonna get one of them, but not both.
I knew they would get both of them.
Really?
The NFL cap's a joke. And now, like I said, with these voidable contracts, voidable years, you better believe there's a change coming in the cap. There are going to be new rules, and there's going to be something changing. May not be within this CBA, unfortunately, for the NFL. I guarantee you it's going to be changing because the NFL is looking at this Taysom Hill 4-year, $140 million deal, and he's not going to see a penny past this current deal. You know what I'm saying? His current 14 million for 1 year or whatever it is. Yeah, no, Rodgers is like, yeah, okay, I got you. We'll put that down for the next CBA, or they're gonna find a way to do something about it sooner. He's already got his lawyers on it, so I guarantee that Roger Goodell's already trying to figure out how to stop that bull jive because I'm telling you, it is nonsense. It is very much nonsense. The Jaguars making moves, signing Carlos Hyde, that's ruining James Robinson's progression, in my opinion.
Why do people keep signing Carlos Hyde?
Yeah, he's okay, but he's not. He's too good to be a backup, in my opinion.
Put some respect.
I just feel like
Ohio State,
dude.
man.
I just feel like he should only be going to contenders, though. What are you doing? Like you're too old to be like. What are you doing? He's just like, I gotta get this money. I don't care. I gotta run into somebody for $4 million.
Right, and they signed Philip Dorsett, and they've signed other pieces.
Ooh.
Which we'll get. Robert Tonyan. Nope, not. I'm sorry about that. Tyson Alulu.
I was gonna say what?
No, that
left Green Bay.
Yeah, he got tendered. They traded for Malcolm Brown from the Rams. Signed Marvis Jones. I'm going by timeline here. Yeah, but that's majority of it. But I know one thing is, I really hope they decide to go with Justin Fields number 1.
That's not happening, bro.
Come on, man. There's got to be some sort of chance that's going to happen.
Nope.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, or Zach Wilson. Oh, that would be awesome. But he's going to be.
Okay, I got a question. It's kind of off. It's kind of a little random. Okay, so if you were Carson Wentz, would you throw the ball to what's his face, the dude that didn't give you his jersey number? I'm just scrolling through.
Oh, Pittman.
I just saw him pop up.
Michael Pittman. Yeah, I would probably not throw to him.
How ballsy do you have to be?
I'll make it known. I'll make it known to the coaching staff real quick that I don't want to play with them, and then they'll trade him or get rid of him or something like
Carson
that.
Wentz, baby like that, he probably will go.
Oh, absolutely. You know he will. So watch, it'll happen. He'll get cut or traded.
Like, no respect, bro. No respect.
That's funny. The Jets.
Because he's.
Who? No. Go finish. Because we got a lot to talk about the Jets.
No, I just wanted to say real quick because it's like, bro, like Carson Wentz has got a bag, so it's like he didn't even offer you no money, or you're just like, nah, I don't even care what money you offer. Like,
you know he ain't about to give that man his money. He's like, nah, fuck this.
Man, that's usually how it goes, right? He probably asked him, and he was like, nah. He was like,
right, exactly.
Like you give me a bag, I got you. Fuck that, man. Just keep that 11.
It's just a number. What do you mean?
2. What's he gonna be now? He's like, well, 2. I don't care. 2. Like I'm wearing number 2. I don't care if you guys don't like it. My wife thinks I look good in it, so it's okay.
Jalen Hurts is number 2.
I'm like, what a crybaby little bitch,
funny.
yo.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is number 2.
The dude that took his job is the same number as him.
Yep. So we'll see what happens, but back like we were getting ready to say, the Jets signing Corey Davis to a 3-year, $27 million deal, or a $37 million deal, $27 million guaranteed. Really a 2-year deal with guarantees, so they can get rid of him in year 3. That comes out to be an okay amount of money, in my opinion. I don't think it's. I mean, they overpaid maybe slightly, but not too much. And you have to when you're a bad team. When you're a bad team, you have to overpay to get players to come play for you because you're a bad team, and no one wants to come play for you. But that's just my opinion. But they ended up getting Keelan Cole on the 1-year cheap deal. They also got Carl Lawson on the 3-year. What was that? A $47 million or $45 million deal? Yeah, 3-year, $45 million deal, $15 million per year. I think that's a decent amount. He second in the league in QB pressures and QB hits, but his sack numbers, Carl Lawson, his sack numbers aren't exactly there. $30 million guaranteed in 3 years. Basically 2 years fully guaranteed, and then the 3rd year they can get rid of them like Corey Davis, and the cap will be going up, so it won't even be that bad, whether or not they're there or not. But the Jets are trying to make some moves, and they're on a lot. They've signed a backup guard. They re-signed Josh Adams, the running back, who's not that good, but he played well for the Jets last year. I mean, if you guys remember, he was busting out 80, 90-yard games off of like 10 carries. So, I mean, he was doing good. He was having.
Yeah, he came in when I think it was Gore got hurt, and he had like a monster game.
Yeah, he had a couple of them towards the end of the year. So, the Jets are making moves, and I like them. It's just unfortunate that we didn't get Tooney. It's unfortunate that we didn't more address the offensive line nearly as much as I liked. I wanted, who's that? Rodney Hudson, who got traded from the Raiders to the Cardinals. I wanted that center. Or Corey Linsley.
You do realize that Mekhi Becton is 2 linemen in 1. So you're good. No worries.
He is pretty good. But we need it on the right side.
He's the left tackle and the left guard. It's okay.
Well, we need a center, right guard, and right tackle.
Yeah, man, you guys automatically have 6. You automatically get 6 linemen, so you'll be okay.
What were you saying, Seth? I know you were trying to say something.
Yeah, they're taking Sewell, bro. That's why they're not.
I would be so stoked with that, but they're not.
I think they are. And I think
they're taking. No, they're not. They're taking Zach Wilson.
That's a mistake they're gonna make, dude. That might be a bigger mistake than Sam Darnold.
Ever since Sam Darnold got mono, bro, it was over with.
Everyone knows Sam Darnold is just not good.
Dude, I don't see the hype in Zach Wilson, man. If you watch any of his tape, his highlights, like, listen, he played the back, right? Some shit like that. One of those little schools. Like, he went out there and he played backyard football and threw the football up, knowing his guys was going to make a play. Like, he just he ain't never played no real competition, man. Like, at all.
That's what I was going to say. Look at school.
At all, bro. He's played nobody. Really? Like, I'm telling you, that's gonna. I don't know, man. I know I'm not an NFL scout, you guys. I'm not trying to pretend like I am one. Personally, I don't like those guys that only played 14 games in college or whatever he played. Or maybe he played the 2, but he played in the MAC, man. Come on. Who has he ever played against? We'll see how good he is in the NFL from this grown-ass.
Who did Josh Allen play against?
5 times as fast as anything you've ever seen in the MAC.
Who is Josh Allen played against?
I'll give you that, Dave, but this dude is not Josh Allen. Stop that.
Right,
Josh Allen,
right.
Way bigger arm.
Not way bigger arm. No, this dude can drop 70 yards.
Josh Allen has the biggest arm in the league. Bro.
He does, but it's not like this dude's going to come in and have a top 15, 16 arm.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Okay.
He don't got. You think his arm's that strong?
He's flying and making it fly. It's stronger than Darnold's.
Dave, I think he's going to make some big plays in the NFL. But he's also going to make some real dumb plays, and he's going to turn the ball over a lot.
What's going with Sam going to do?
Hey, Sam, dude, you guys are so easy to give up on that man. That man's never had anything
3
around
years
him to perform.
Yeah, they've been horrible. They've been horrible the entire time.
Dude, I mean, I don't think that Sam Darnold's as bad as the environment he was in.
I've been telling Dave that. Who does he have to throw to?
I think the environment's getting a lot better there, and they need to give him a chance to.
Trash.
You
More trash.
think Corey Davis is enough, and
I
Keelan
like
Cole
Corey
and Denzel Mims, and
No.
Tyler Croft and Chris
No.
Herndon?
No.
No, I don't think that's enough for Sam Darnold. He would need.
Compared to Kansas City, who everybody exalts Patrick Mahomes, why do they do that though? Look at who he's playing with, man. Come on, man.
Right.
He would
it
need.
matters who you play.
They would need to trade for like a Julio Jones or an Allen Robinson. They need something like
Julio
that.
Jones.
Then they can keep. If they trade for Allen Robinson, then okay, you can keep Sam Darnold, because at that point, then we'll see what he's made of. Because you have Corey Davis, Allen Robinson, Keelan Cole, Denzel Mims. That would actually be a decent wide receiver core. Like that would be probably top 7 wide receiving core in the NFL.
So,
Sam
do
Darnold's gonna be a backup somewhere.
No, I know.
Do we want to lead into the Bears with this Allen Robinson thing? Because I have a lot to say.
But if you can get Allen Robinson to the Jets, then I'm okay. I'm okay keeping Sam Darnold, because then at that point he's got enough weapons, and then they can take Sewell, and then they can try to take a center or something in the second round, because they're going to have to give up their first round pick to get Allen Robinson. So they're not the second overall, but it'll be Seattle's first round pick. And then the second round they can get a center or something like that, or another guard, and then that would be no excuse, because you would have Allen Robinson, who's a top 5 wide receiver talent, and then you would have Denzel Mims, Keelan Cole, and Corey Davis. I mean, you would have enough there. There would be no more excuses. They also signed LaMarcus Joyner, 1 year, $4.5 million deal. I think they're bargain shopping and they're making nice moves, but cornerback and offensive line are the biggest needs, and they just have not hit it. I mean, they signed a linebacker off the Lions, and there's a video of him spying Patrick Mahomes, and he's just like walking like up towards the line and gets like smacked in the face by the Chiefs center. It's like hilarious, but like it's just, we're not addressing the 2 major positions, especially offensive line, that we need. Like, yeah, we're getting a little bit more weapons, but at the same time, we need to see more. Yes, we have the draft coming up. I get that. There's going to be a lot that goes on in the draft, but really, we need to get more than the draft. If you want to start, if we're going with Sam, you have to do more than what you're doing. The draft's not going to cut it unless you're taking Jamar Chase. You know, if you're taking Jamar Chase second overall, okay, then okay. Then we got then that'll be enough for Sam Darnold. And then that's it. That's his last year. You have no more choice after that. It's either backup quarterback or big contract. That's it. So going on, Juju Smith went back to the Steelers. A little surprised at that, to be honest, because it seemed like he wasn't going to, but it sounded like he was talking to the Jets, really didn't receive any serious offer from him. But he got an offer from the Chiefs. 1 year, $8 million, $4 million plus incentive. And then he also had a deal with, who was it? Did he have, was it the Ravens?
I thought the Bills.
No, it wasn't the Bills.
Nope. Yeah, it wasn't.
I think it was the Ravens. Let me check it out right now. But what do you guys think about the Chiefs offering it to him?
I was surprised, but I mean, I'm surprised he didn't take it. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, that's almost a good shot to get a ring. You got a really good chance.
Yeah, Ravens. The Chiefs was one year, $8 million, $3 million incentives. Ravens was 1 year, $9 million with $4 million in incentives, so up to $13 million. And then the Eagles offered a deal, but they didn't disclose how much money. But it was more than what he took. It was more than what he took from the Steelers. Really? Yeah, those 3 deals were more, but apparently the Jets made an offer, but it wasn't bigger than what these guys got. Because the Jets were trying to bargain shop, apparently.
What's your question, Monty?
You said Juju got offered by the Ravens too? And
yeah, 1 year, $9 million, $4 million in incentives.
So they offered him more too. Huh. That's weird.
He wanted to go back to the Steelers. One last try. I think he just wants to go one last year with Ben Roethlisberger, and then I think he'll see what they do at quarterback, and then he'll probably decide what he wants to do. But
Pittsburgh.
He'll have weapons around him, so he'll have a nice supporting cast, so he'll be able to try to do more things and get bigger stats. He had a decent year. He didn't have a great year, which is what he's looking for. So he's got Ben Roethlisberger one more year, and he's got to try to make it work to get as much money as he can because he got cheap this year. But if he is actually pretty good this year, he's going to double that to 16 plus million a year, so he knows that. So he's hoping that with the familiarity he would have with Pittsburgh and Deontay Johnson and Claypool being there, that's going to help take defenses away from Juju because defenses already and teams think that he's average to above average at best, and the slot may be above average, but I think he's thinking bigger and better. So he's taking a chance on himself. 1 year, $8 million with the same team. He doesn't have to learn a new system. He can just go in and more concentrate on himself other than concentrating on a new system. I think that had a lot to do with it because if he's trying to bank on himself, it's going to be hard going into another system, learning a new system, and succeeding in that system to a point where they're going to sign you to a big contract. Why not go back to where you already were? You know the playbook, you know the players, you know the system, and you know all the fans, which are going to be back in the stadiums, I believe, this year at 50 to 75%, even 100%, in about a third of the league, I think, in my opinion. And that's where he has the best chance to succeed, in my opinion. Don't you guys think that's probably the best chance he has to get a big payday is somewhere he's already been where he can concentrate on maybe going back to some of the basics instead of worrying about a new system?
Oh, totally. Because, I mean, who knows when training camp starts this year if it's going to be limited like it was, this past season. It could be limited, like less practice time.
I don't think it will be. Nope.
Well, I'm just saying just in case. You don't
I think
know. Nobody
right.
knows
So
that could be a train of thought. I mean, dude,
sure.
COVID's changed.
No, it has. And my quick opinion on that is Combine, they had to because the vaccine was just starting to get rolled out. So,
and like I said, like last week or the week before, we both said that we're going to see a lot of 1 year contracts.
1 year, 2 year, 3 year. I said 3 year max.
A lot of big crazy contracts
right.
like case of are bullshit contracts.
Yeah, which I think that's going to get. Like I said, Roger Goodell's already on that. He's like, this is not happening again. But yeah, no, I totally agree. Like I think the combine couldn't happen, but I believe wholeheartedly that everything else is going to happen. I think the mini camps are going to go on as well. I think the OTAs are going to happen. Pro days are happening. If pro days are happening in college and schools where teams get to fly in there, I don't care if they're socially distanced, they get to fly in there and watch them, there's going to be pro days. There's going to... No, it's going to...
went to my daughter's volleyball game the other night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to have pro days. They're going to have OTAs, mini camps. No excuses now this time because the rookies last year got shafted. It sucks, and I understand that. No preseason games. But this year, they're going to make up for it. I don't think they're getting rid of any preseason game this year. I think this is the last year where there will be 4 preseason games plus 17 games. Reason why is they have to give these players, especially last year, time to progress. So this will be the last year for 4 preseason games. And NFL teams are only going to play their starters in one, maybe 1.5 of them. And that's it. They're not going to play them in all 4. They know it's bull stuff. But you're going to see a lot of rookies and second-year players playing in these preseason games because they didn't get that. Maybe they didn't get the opportunity to play in the preseason
like
showcase.
Played football in over
There's
a year.
so many of these players that they need the preseason, so they're going to have 4. In my opinion, 4 preseason games. 17 games is already a done deal. There's 17 officially going forward. Fantasy is going to update with that here in about a week or 2, maybe even a month or so. But fantasy is going to have 17 weeks. They're just kind of fine tweaking it. I think there's going to be 2 bye weeks, which is going to expand the season out to 19 weeks. So there's going to be 19 weeks in the NFL season. And for fantasy, once again, you're only going to play probably 18 of them, maybe only 17 of them, depending on how they're going to set these bye weeks, when they are going to be throughout the season, and how they're going to are they still going to have divisional opponents in the last game of the season? Like, what are they going to do? It's going to be so different now, and especially for fantasy football, it's going to be interesting how they implement all this and how they change everything. So, looking at that aspect of it, not only that, with the NFL players not wanting that 17th game. That's why I think the second bye week is coming. So it's going to expand the season even further. Now, is the season going to start 1 week earlier, 2 weeks earlier? I don't think they can afford to go 2 weeks later. I don't think they can afford to play all these playoff games in the beginning of February outside because the Super Bowl wouldn't be until mid to late February.
I could see it maybe starting a week earlier, and then the Super Bowl being the second week in February instead of the first, maybe.
And sometimes it
Which
already.
anything past that, I don't see really going past the second Sunday in February. I wouldn't see happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be different, and it's gonna be weird to see what happens with all this. But
All about the dollar, man.
so one other team I want to get to is
Oh God.
the Bears, real quick.
Yes.
I want to
Yes,
get to the Bears because they have been making a lot of questionable decisions. You know, letting Hakeem Nicks
Hey, slow down.
seek a trade, releasing Kyle Fuller, signing Andy Dalton, trying to make a trade. But real quick about the Russell Wilson trade. They're trying to attempt to offer 3 first-round picks, a third-round pick, Kyle Fuller, and Hakeem Nicks. So none of those is a replacement for Russell Wilson. And that's how Seattle looked at it. Pete Carroll's too old to rebuild, and none of those were going to get a replacement for Russell Wilson that year. They can't take a chance that they're going to hit the lottery like they did with Russell Wilson and have an amazing quarterback with the 20th pick, which is where Chicago selects, or later on in the draft with whatever picks, because they only have a second, fourth, and a sixth, I think, this right now in the draft so far.
I think the Bears are another dark horse to try to go after
the Seahawks, that is. Go on.
No, the Bears. I think the Bears are a dark horse to try to get Mac Jones in this draft. I mean, Andy
They picked
Dalton,
20th, and the Patriots are at 15.
Listen. If Andy Dalton, if you think Ryan Pace, that's your answer, and then you cut Kyle Fuller, what are you doing, dude? Like, he wants to be fired. I just get it, dude. Andy fucking Dalton. Like, I would have rather roll Trubisky than Andy Dalton. I'm going to tell you right now. He's younger.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
He's younger, dude. I mean, yeah. I don't understand Pace. I don't understand Chicago Bears. I don't understand the front office. I just don't know what they're doing, dude. It's like they don't want to win. I don't get it. Like, Andy fucking Dalton. I don't get it, Dave.
They're rebuilding. It's obvious. They're in rebuild mode. There's no way they're expecting to win. This is my opinion. They only tagged Robinson to either trade him, sign and trade, or they were trying to get Galladay to try to maybe not rebuild, maybe to try to build something, maybe build a playoff team.
I heard
maybe
Robinson didn't want to sign the franchise tag, dude.
He did. He ended up signing it though.
Yeah, but you heard he said he wasn't going to, right?
Yeah, but I think it's because I believe that he's going to demand a trade. I think he's going to say trade me, and I think the Bears are going to get something good. I think the Jets are going to offer a first-round pick, the 23rd overall, and I think they're going to listen because then they can have 2 picks right up there. They're not going to get the second pick, so they can stop thinking about that right now. But I think that Chicago.
Did you see the Falcons maybe taking I don't know, the fourth? I don't know, man. Mac and maybe the Bears' first-round pick for their 4th pick.
No, because I think they might get Penny Sewell. And if they don't get Penny Sewell, then they might look at a receiver to replace Julio and then trade Julio. They could take Jamar Chase or Devonta Smith and they could trade Julio for a first or a second round pick to a contending team. And the Chiefs would give up their 32nd pick or 31st pick for Julio Jones.
Yeah.
And then the Falcons would be right back in it. Right back in the draft in the first round. So I think there's going to be a lot of movement, and I think that's one team you got to look out for because they do have an aging quarterback and wide receiver, and it doesn't look like they're going to be moving forward, going to the playoffs or being in contention in the playoffs. But I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly would just trade. I would trade both of them together and see what you can get. If you would have told the Jets, "Hey, we'll trade you Matt Ryan and Julio Jones for the second, and we'll trade you our first, or we'll give you, Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, and our second and third round pick, and you give us, the second overall." I think the Jets would listen. Probably wouldn't do it, but I think they would listen. I think they would be like, okay, maybe, because we're getting, then we can probably try to build a team to try to go in playoff contention and try to do something in the AFC East. While you have the Bills that are good, we could, if you got Matt Ryan and Julio Jones tomorrow, the Jets would be better than the Dolphins and the Patriots. And then that's just how it is because they'd have the better quarterback. So I think that would be something that they could look for. But maybe they're going to try one more year to actually try to do something. But honestly, in my opinion, do you guys think that they're going to do anything? Are they built to do anything? I don't.
Who's that? The Bears?
The Falcons.
Oh no, I don't, man.
That's why don't you try it? Right. Okay.
Julio Jones is good
Right.
out there and
So why don't you call the Jets? Why don't you just put it out there? Hey, sorry, we love you guys. This isn't working. You guys can go together. You know?
right.
We'll send you guys together to the same place. So the Bears would be the first place. I mean, they wouldn't have, once again, they wouldn't have, but they could take, possibly someone with that fourth pick that they already have. They could trade Julio and Matt Ryan to the Bears and get the Bears 3 or 3 first round picks, and then another second or third round pick. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they could have, honestly, if they would have called Atlanta and offered that same deal for Russell Wilson, but for Julio and Matt Ryan, Atlanta would have did it.
He probably would have. He probably would have. You're right.
Then they'd have Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and Allen Robinson.
Right.
Now you're getting it. Now Bears fans are talking. Now they're getting excited because Matt Ryan's thrown for 4,500 yards.
They can't be excited now, man. I feel so bad for my dad right now, dude, and all the Bears fans around here that listen to the show. Like, I just don't.
Would you give up 3 first round picks for
us?
No, for Matt Ryan and Julio? If you're the Bears with that defense? Monty, would you?
You have to decide. Look, you got to do that right now. Like, you have to do that today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's too late because you got to win. If you're gonna, you got to decide. Like you said, you're going in to win the Super Bowl this year and the next.
You have to. You're doing it and trying to go for it one last time.
3-year window, a 3-year window at the most. You have a 3-year window. Probably only 2.
Really, only like a 2. Exactly. You're giving up a year, but you're throwing yourself in contention.
Right, and then if you can't do it, then no, you just get the draft capital and you keep your draft picks and you tell your fans, hey, look. You've heard this before, but we're going to start from scratch again, and this is what we're going to do. And I don't know. You go from there.
Yeah, that's my opinion, too.
I don't even know if Ryan and Julio Jones could get them to the Super Bowl. I don't know if I believe in that organization anymore. I don't know. They continue to disappoint me, man.
Right. Yeah, no, I get it. Let's touch on a couple more before we get out of here. I'm looking at Kenny Golladay to the Giants. That's a money grab.
Definitely.
I mean, we got Saquon, and I get it, and Evan Ingram, but
that's good for Daniel Jones, though, too, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, they might actually try something, but that's mostly a money grab.
Oh, yeah.
So, looking at other teams, like I said, we already talked about Juju. Adoree Jackson's visiting the Giants. So if they can get the Giants, if they can get Adoree Jackson, then maybe they might try it. They might actually be decent and compete for that division because if the Cowboys, I mean, you got the Cowboys, but if they for some reason lose Dak again, I mean, then it's like wide open, like it was this last year. So,
like I said, I like the moves Washington's making a lot. I think I think they're all making smart decisions. Maybe Philadelphia not so much. I didn't really see much out of them, but the rest of those guys, Washington, the Giants, they're trying to get better. And I mean, it's just they're doing what they need to do, man. So we'll see.
Eagles getting safety Anthony Harris that the Cowboys desperately needed, but they didn't. Seahawks re-signing Chris Carson to a 2-year, $24 million deal. That's good for both sides.
Aaron Jones went back to Green Bay, honestly.
I think Aaron Jones would have been perfect for Seattle.
Right.
Yeah, but they didn't. Minnesota's forfeiting a 7th-round pick for a COVID violation.
So are the Saints, aren't they?
No, I apologize. It's a salary cap violation for a practice squad player.
Saints is the COVID violation.
Yeah, they 6th-round pick. They're losing.
$700,000 fine.
Yep, and a 6th-round pick. Looking at other teams and looking at others, Isaiah Wilson, 1st-round pick from the Dolphins, is waived. 1st-round pick last year, Isaiah Wilson has been waived.
Do you think Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the Saints quarterback all year?
Panthers?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Jameis Winston, do you think that's going to be the Saints starting quarterback?
Yeah, they have no choice.
You don't think they'll get anybody else?
They'll try. I think if they can get Trey Lance, they will, but he'll be long gone. He's a top 10 pick, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think that.
How many quarterbacks are going in the first round, you think? We'll talk about it again when we get closer to the draft, but just right now, just speaking off the top of your head, you think 4?
4 or 5.
I think 4 will. I don't think 5 will. I think 4, if not 10, then top 12.
4 for sure in the
4
first
in the top 12, 5 in the top 20. For sure. Mac Jones is going between 15 and 20. He's not escaping the Bears or Belichick.
Nope.
So Broncos with Kyle Fuller, we already talked about. Xavier Rhodes heading back to Indianapolis.
Dude.
Cannon Neal signs with the Cowboys over the Jets. Not a bad choice on his part. Better stadium. No state tax. Warmer weather. Better team. So, not better coach, but better team.
Definitely.
But yeah, so, and then back to the Russell Wilson thing. It sounds like he's probably not going to be traded, but that's not out of the question yet. Don't forget, if they go to these pro days of Justin Fields and Zach Wilson, they could call the Jets and the Dolphins and say, look, hey, Russ, would you want it? I mean, Russ would not. Russ would entertain going to New York City because Sierra, A, would want him to, and B, he already said he wanted to play in New York last year, and when there was talks about him going to the Giants, and then, or 2 years ago, I mean.
Russell Wilson will always love New York.
Right, exactly. And then Miami, I mean, no state tax and you're in Miami. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They're not a bad team. So, and that's a big time performance town. So,
that's right on point. If Pete Carroll and the Seahawks find a quarterback they like in this draft, they will trade Russell Wilson because everybody's talking about this $39 million cap hit, correct? Well, really, if they trade him, it's only a $7 million cap hit because they're going to pay him $32 regardless if he's on the team or not, right? So they're paying him.
That's called dead money.
Right. So it's only $7 million. It's not $39 million of dead money.
No, it's $32 million dead money.
Well, but what I'm saying is they plan to pay him $32 this year anyway, right?
Yeah, they're going to be paying him $32 million at least.
Right. So really.
So you're paying them $32 million, but you're getting this, and you're getting the second round pick back.
Right.
Or the second overall pick.
So what I'm saying is that's only $7 million they didn't plan on spending this year, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're paying Zach Wilson or Justin Fields $35 million this year. Essentially. Because you're trading Russell Wilson for one of those two. That's a big hit for a rookie quarterback when the point of drafting a rookie quarterback. But he doesn't want to rebuild.
Right. He wants to win.
He
knows he's only got a few years left, man. He's getting old.
Right, that's what I think. I think who retires first, Belichick or Pete Carroll?
That's a tough one, man. Because I don't want to count Belichick out. I think
Belichick's got 2 years max. I think this might be his last year.
Who's that, Belichick?
Yep.
I don't know, dude. I think he's putting together something.
I think he's got 2 years max. No, this is what I'm saying, though. Like, if they go less than 500 again this year with all the moves that they made, I think he's done.
Yeah.
He tried everything he could. But if they get Mac Jones and he looks good, but like if they draft Mac Jones and he comes in and looks like shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they just don't do well. I think there's a path. I think there's a path to where he retires after this year.
Well, look, he has a plan in place, and you're right. If this plan doesn't work, he's done.
Right.
But if they win 10 games and they're in the playoffs, or they're right there, then I think maybe 2-3 years at the very most he sticks around. But he definitely has a plan in place, and we're going to see how it works out. I think he'll figure it out. If he can get his quarterback he likes, I think he'll be okay this year. They got a lot of guys coming back on defense, like we've been saying. They've signed some guys on offense. I think he's got a plan, and we'll see how it pans out. It's all about his quarterback to me.
I wouldn't be surprised if both of them retire in 2 years. Not this season, but at the end of next season.
I could see Pete Carroll being gone after this season.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. If it goes bad, man, I don't know.
Yeah, and then, like I said, if it goes good, I think he'd stick around one last season. But that would be it. I think he's got 2 more seasons in him. I think Bill's got 1 to 3. And I think Pete Carroll's got 1 to 2.
I'm not looking forward to the Seahawks playing this year, bro. I think it's gonna be
More or less, I think Bills got 2-3 and Pete Carroll 1-2. So I could see them both leaving at the same time. I really think Pete Carroll would probably retire first, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bill retired after this year if everything just went to hell.
No, I agree. If this plan backfires and they're under 500, or yeah, he's not gonna. It's like he's done. You know, I think this is his last like hoorah. Like, okay, I need to spend some money because he spent more money the other day. Shit, in one day than he spent like the last 3 years.
183 million or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he never spends money like that, bro. He very
No.
rarely. He's on the defensive side of the ball if he spends big money. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was a big surprise for him, and he's definitely got a plan. Like I've been saying, you know, and we'll see how it goes, man. I don't know.
And real quick about Deshaun Watson, do you think his values being dry? Even if it comes out innocent, like,
If
do
he comes out,
you think his value gets hit a little bit?
If he comes out, nope, not if he comes out innocent. They're not going to care because he's that good on the field.
Yeah.
Say that, and because I mean, we obviously have no idea what's going on, and I hope for his sake and for the NFL's sake that this shit's not true. I mean,
I don't think so. I think it's one lawyer trying to get a big payday from 12 different cases.
Or it's some the fucking Texas.
This is how you'll know if something happens. If the police it actually won't be the police. The police will turn it over to the district attorney. If they don't move forward with it, then there's no case. I think it's going to be criminal or not. I don't think there's any civil case in this. I think it's going to be criminal. Well, it'd be civil if he got prosecuted.
It's only civil. That's what I don't get.
Yeah. I think it would be. It's either going to be criminal and civil or nothing. Because if the district attorney don't move forward with it, then they're just going to use that in court, and at most, I don't even think they're going to get anything. So it's going to be crazy to see what happens. I mean, if he did something wrong, he deserves to be punished. So,
oh hell yeah, bro.
Yeah. So
if that's true, he should be banned from the league. I mean,
right.
I don't care how talented you are. If you're doing shit like that off the field, you have an example to set, especially for all the shit he does off the field with the community, man, and all the kids look up to him as a role model.
Right.
You can't be. If it's true, I mean, you're right. Bye. I'm sorry. You could have been one of the best. I think you were great. You have an amazing talent. Like I said, I hope it's not true for his sake, for the NFL's sake. The NFL's better when the best players are playing. I mean, we want to see him on the field playing.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I think it's going to be.
I want to see Deshaun Watson play every week, dude. You know?
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to come of this. But who knows? I'm not involved in what's going on, so we'll see what happens, what progresses from this. But
same with AB, nothing came out, so
So we'll take a week off and then come back at the beginning of next month with some draft talk. I'll have my mock 2.0. We'll discuss more about that and what the changes were from the first and what happened to free agency to dictate that. And by then they'll have the pro days of Justin Fields and Zach Wilson, so that we will get a better idea of possibly Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson being traded, because if they have heavy presence there with those two teams, then you may see them get moved based on what they see in the pro day, and they're going to want to do it before the draft. They might not do it immediately because they're going to want to build as much capital and value going into the draft or getting closer to the draft, but don't be surprised if you see Seattle's GM and a scout or two and Houston's as well at Zach Wilson's and Justin Fields pro day. And maybe, I mean, they already had Trey Lance's and they were there, so I don't see why they wouldn't. But if they have a decent amount of scouts there, then be careful. I mean, just be aware, because I can see them getting moved if they are there and very intrigued with what they see. Now, them being there doesn't mean that they're going to trade for or trade Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, but if they go to these pro days and they like what they see, then you might see some movement from those two teams. So until
what do you expect from Trevor Lawrence next year, man? What do you expect from him this year? What numbers?
I don't know. I want to wait until what I see what they get in the draft. If they get another receiver or if they get another running back, if they trade for somebody, they're not done signing players. There's still a lot of players. What if they get Antonio Brown? You know, so
they got a lot of money too.
Right. So there's other players out there. I want to hold off on that. I'm thinking as of now he's going to be a top 20 quarterback for sure. But like I said, I want to see more or less what is going to be surrounding him and what they do in the draft to help this kid out. So um, we're going to see, like I said, I'm going to do my mock 2.0 in the next week, probably next weekend or after that. I want to see what the second wave, the third wave, and the fourth wave of free agency holds and all that. So going forward, we'll see. We'll talk draft until the draft. We'll talk fantasy. I think we're going to squeeze in a fantasy episode. We'll do some rankings. We'll do like some dynasty talk coming up because I know a lot of teams, they wait to do their rookie drafts until after the actual NFL draft. So
That's how it should.
so we'll do a fantasy special. We'll do a mock rookie draft, and we'll get into that. We'll bring some people on and see what they think about the rookie draft and what they expect from these rookies going forward, based on, maybe a trend from, because usually rookie tight ends don't do well, but Evan Ingram did. So they never know who could come in. Maybe Kyle Pitts is going to be a top 2 or 3 tight end as a rookie. So we'll see how that goes. But for myself, Dave Cat Pod on Twitter and Facebook, and Seth Reed 620 on Twitter.
Yep.
Give us a follow, and until next time, we're talking draft. Good night.